Hey y'all, and welcome back. Today we will be reviewing another Slapped Ham video. This one is strangely titled, "These videos are so scary you'll pee yourself in front of your crush." Now I just really hope this don't happen to any of y'all. If y'all watching these videos with any of your crushes and everything, I just hope you don't have to sit there and accidentally wet yourself. Maybe you're gonna wet yourself not because it's scary, but maybe because it's long. I don't know. But you know what? Let's dive on in and find out, shall we?
A chilling video making the rounds online has viewers in disbelief. The short clip, shared to Instagram by Scary Videos and Pictures and reportedly first uploaded to the Scary Chiller YouTube channel, shows someone exploring what appears to be an old, possibly abandoned school. Soon, something grabs their attention. When the footage is slowed down and zoomed in, a strange figure can be seen lurking in the darkness. It appears to have long, ape-like limbs and a wide, unnatural mouth, a fleeting glimpse that's as quick as it is disturbing. Unfortunately, very little is known about where the footage was actually captured, leaving the clip wide open to speculation. Some viewers suggested it could be a monkey that wandered into the building, while others, leaning into the paranormal, claimed it might be something far more sinister, even a werewolf-like creature. Whatever the truth, the eerie sighting has sparked another round of late-night internet sleuthing. So what do you think has been captured on camera here? Watch the clip closely one more time and see if you can identify the figure in the comments section below.
Now, this clip kind of reminds me of some of those videos I've seen where people go and explore like old, not too old, but kind of few decades old abandoned villages and stuff over in like South America or Southeast Asia, you know, where the forests have actually decided to grow in and reclaim the territory that humans had once taken from the forest. That's what this reminds me of right here. And it's always gives a sense of like creepiness and everything like that. Now, where I grew up down south, we had something similar in the terms of this kind of, where we you know, you have old houses and everything out in the middle of the woods where the kudzu was done took over and just completely overran the houses and things like that. So it gives a real creepy, just disregarded sense of, you know, that feeling, just being disregarded, abandoned. You know, it's a real, just, it's a tangible sense, you know, when you go and walk upon something like that. It just gives that eerie feeling. So you got that eerie sense in the video already. And then to top it off, when somebody's reviewing their camera footage, they're like, "Oh wow, look, I just found something like this." It kind of makes it want to tend towards the paranormal. So and give a little bit more of a creepier vibe than the already creepiness of the abandoned feeling, you know. But this right here, I feel like it is probably, like I said, is somewhere maybe over in Southeast Asia more often than I would think of like South America. It's just, I think I just have a feeling of like Southeast Asia. And it's more than likely they just sat there and ended up catching a monkey. I mean, the shadows could make it and make it look a little more sinister, more distorted and things like that. But more often than not, I believe it's just a happen chance that there was a monkey in the abandoned building and he maybe uses it as its own home, like a little nest or something, because, hey, there's a roof there and he won't get rained on. He could be able to put stuff there. Nobody's there to take the stuff. So he made it his own little home. And these people just happened to stumble upon his newly acquired home. I mean, what y'all think? I seriously do not, I repeat, do not see this as a werewolf like some of the other people were trying to state in the comments that Callan was talking about. There is no werewolf for this at all. Believe me, I just know that this is more so a monkey. But you know what? Let me know in the comments below what y'all think, and we'll move on to the next.
So we're out here catching crappie.
Here's a quick and unsettling one sent to the Instagram page Trira Legendaria by one of their viewers.
It's starting to hurt.
The men laughed nervously at first, testing it again and again, seemingly fascinated by the bizarre phenomenon.
It's starting to hurt.
But commenters were quick to sound the alarm, warning that this was a dangerous sign of an imminent lightning strike. When the air becomes charged like that, it often means lightning is about to hit nearby.
It's starting to hurt.
Hopefully, the fishermen packed up and got to safety in time, because as anyone who's spent time on open water knows, when you can feel electricity in the air, the storm is already closer than it looks.
It's starting to hurt.
Well, nothing paranormal about this clip, but I do suggest once you started feeling that electricity and that sparking in your hands when touching that fishing rod, I would have got out of there really quick. I mean, I've been in situations where all of a sudden your hair stands up on top of your head. That means the lightning strike is really, 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 really close, and it is time to get out. That's all I got to say about that. I hope nobody else has ever experienced anything like that, because in the grand scheme of things, when dealing with paranormal or weather's a lot scarier than the paranormal at the end of the day. So let's move on to the next one, shall we?
A chilling clip shared to Instagram by Strange Dark World has viewers on edge after showing a rather unnerving sight. The footage was reportedly captured by a woman named Vanessa, who says she has experienced paranormal activity throughout her life, but never anything like this. According to her account, the strange encounter occurred around 11:30 p.m. when her Ring doorbell camera detected motion outside her home. When Vanessa checked the feed, she saw what looked like a dark, human-like face peering through the camera from the shadows. The eerie figure appears still, a sight that Vanessa says left her genuinely frightened for the first time. The video quickly sparked debate online. Some viewers believe the shape resembles a creepy doll or even an owl, while others suspect something more sinister, perhaps a demonic entity or spectral presence. Whatever it is, the figure's unblinking stare and uncanny stillness have unnerved thousands who've watched the clip. For Vanessa, who claims she grew up in a haunted home often visited by priests and investigators, this encounter stands apart. "I don't scare easily," she says, but this time she did. Whether it's a trick of light, an animal, or something truly otherworldly, the video remains one of the more unsettling Ring camera captures to surface online recently.
In all honesty, for this video, I would suggest that Vanessa actually contact the police and show them this evidence. I don't see an owl or anything like that, or even it being a dark entity or anything like that. I feel like she has somebody who was kind of stalking out her home, hiding behind that pot of flowers, you know. And it was just really creepy, and you could see if you look at it close, you could see actual like facial structures. You see the eye, you can see where the nose is, the actual hair, and all around. I really suggest that she contact the police and make sure that she finds out who is kind of watching out on her home and everything, because you never know, it could be an ex that she had a bad situation with that wasn't quite over her, or it could be somebody, just a random stranger coming up and viewing her area in case she need, like, for theft, burglary, something like that. Or it just could be somebody who's kind of not all there in the head watching her. I don't see this as being a sense of pareidolia and, like, seeing an animal that might be peering out in the shadows creating. No, this is something that is human form, and I would suggest that I hope she got somebody to, show this video to, and hopefully they could take care of this situation that she was going to be in, because this, all in all, was not a great vibe, especially watching that. Very unnerving, and I can see where she would be a little bit scared of that one. Let's move on to the next.
A mysterious video shared to Instagram by Scary Encounter has left viewers divided after appearing to capture something strange. According to the video's description, the footage was recorded on August 22nd, 2024 at 4:26 a.m. by a security camera in Mexico.
A lo mejor es una pareja, pero no sé, ahí se empieza a mover y la cámara ya no lo graba muy bien, pero ahí se mira que se está yendo por aquí.
The strange sight has stirred plenty of speculation online. Some viewers believe the footage might show a witch or spirit manifestation, pointing to Mexico's long reputation as a paranormal hotspot filled with legends of brujas, shadow people, and glowing spectral lights. Others, however, offered a more grounded interpretation. One commenter suggested that the clip actually shows two people, and the orb effect could simply be the result of them walking with a flashlight. When viewed closely, the footage does indeed seem to show two individuals standing side by side right before the orb disappears.
Se para ahí y como que se convierte en un señor, mira. Que tienen como una lámpara, a lo mejor es una pareja, pero no sé, ahí se empieza a mover y la cámara ya no lo graba muy bien.
Still, the clip's low resolution and eerie timing leave plenty of room for interpretation. Whether it's a camera glitch, an optical illusion, or something genuinely otherworldly remains to be seen.
Señor, mira. Y se queda, ahí todavía está corriendo a lo mejor es una pareja, pero no sé, ahí se empieza a mover y la cámara ya no lo graba muy bien, pero ahí se mira que se está yendo por aquí.
So far, have any of y'all seen anything that would make you pee yourself in front of your crush? I know I haven't. And this video is just about the same as well. So, as we can see, this is low quality CCTV camera out. Looks like viewing like a field or something like that. I know they've had the description there, but I like going through them because sometimes I've seen where they talk about it being a certain location. There was one, I think it looked like a regular street, and buildings on the side and everything, and they called it a cemetery. It really didn't look like a cemetery to me. And I've seen pictures of like some of the cemeteries in New Orleans and everything where it's more mausoleums and everything due to the water table and everything in New Orleans. So yeah, I want to, I'm going to put it in this type of descriptor. It's low quality CCTV looking over a field, and honestly, it's very low quality. You actually can see the movement. It looks kind of weird because the camera can't actually focus on the two people, which there are two people. They were talking about one person, but I'm seeing two. And the orb that they talk about all of a sudden magically appearing into one person is a flashlight, because it is late at night, as they had said in the video. So they had the flashlight, to be able to see their way and everything. And their movements weren't really captured in the camera, but the light, since it's kind of consistent, it was showing because it's not really moving. It's being consistent, even though it's kind of moving with the person. It's not going to blur because it's not, it's going to be bright. So therefore it's going to kind of attract more, kind of like how, the eye shine of an animal. You could be able to see the eye shine in some of these videos, but you can't see the actual animal. So it's just the light reflecting and everything on the camera lens. So that can be held in the view of the camera as opposed to the person who is, or animal that is moving. So it's just two gentlemen out with a flashlight late at night walking in the field. So what y'all think? Y'all think the same? Or am I just trying to sit here and skepticize this, so to say? I know it's not a word, but, am I being too skeptical on this? Or is this just two people taking a late night stroll through a field? Let me know in the comments below what y'all think.
A gripping video posted to Instagram by ABC7NY has reignited shock over a dramatic carjacking in Belleville, New Jersey, one captured in real time by a Ring doorbell camera. The footage shows a man clinging to the hood of a car as it speeds away down a suburban street. According to reporting from ABC7NY, the incident unfolded early one morning when intruders broke into a home on High Street and stole a 2015 Lincoln SUV. The victim, awakened by the commotion, ran outside to find his car leaving, and he leapt onto the hood in a desperate attempt to stop the theft.
The wife put a garbage can behind the car to try to prevent it while the husband tried to remove them from the car.
I woke up to my mom screaming, and by the time I got out here, they had already left with my dad on the hood of the car.
After roughly 2 miles, the victim lost his grip and fell onto the pavement, suffering a serious head injury. Authorities say he sustained broken ribs, a broken collarbone, and a brain bleed. The footage shows the terrifying moment just before he was thrown from the moving car. Police later arrested 2 suspects from Newark, aged 18 and 17, charging them with burglary, theft, carjacking, conspiracy, and attempted murder. The vehicle used in the crime appears to have been part of a wider spree. Another stolen car was found flipped over in Newark that same morning. So what would you do in this situation? Cling on to the stolen vehicle or let your insurance company sort it out? For me, the choice seems obvious.
I know this isn't a paranormal video that's on here. This little clip is something I actually kind of remember from this summer, where there was a string of car thefts and everything, and it was perpetrated by, as I said, 18-year-old and 17-year-old had stolen the car in Newark. And it's just mainly what they've been doing a lot lately is they've been taking cars as younger people. It's not for chop shops or anything like that, from what I recall that was going on this summertime, because I actually am residing very close to where these car thefts have actually happened. What it was it was a group of teenagers taking cars and joyriding. I know, like I said, it's not paranormal or anything, but it is kind of creepy, especially if you see out of your Ring camera somebody hanging on for dear life on the hood of a car. Now that's pretty creepy and kind of strange, So I can see where this will be considered like a creepy clip or a scary clip, because you're outside of the context of it being ABC New York. You would see, just randomly seeing this on your Ring doorbell. That'd be kind of creepy, don't y'all think? I mean, it was pretty bad. Actually, somebody I know that lives nearby, their car had actually been broken into during this time, and a lot of stuff was stolen. The car wasn't stolen, but they did have items inside their car that was stolen. So it was pretty kind of scary, and making sure that your vehicle was properly secure on public roads, it's a little hard to do. So people were watching out for their vehicles and everything during this time. So it is kind of scary that people would want to do something like that, especially to joyride and just create havoc with them. Because like they said, the one in Newark was actually found flipped over because they were taking it for a joyride and just decided, hey, I'm not going to tear up my car. I'm going to tear up somebody else's. So it was pretty bad, but at least a lot of them had been caught, and you haven't seen a lot of that happening now. So that's a good thing for everybody out there. So just, next time when you sit there and get out your car and you sit there and think after a bit, hey, did I lock my vehicle? Don't sit there and just automatically assume. Go and just double check that button and make sure that it is actually locked. That's a word to the wise. I always constantly do it because I kind of tend to forget. If I don't hear and remember hearing the beep of the lock button on my car, I'll sit there and actually go back out and redo it. Just like I say, word to the wise, and it's a good precaution. So let's move on to the next one, shall we?
Among all reported encounters in UFO history, few are as detailed or as influential as the strange experience of Antonio Villas-Boas, a 23-year-old Brazilian farmer whose 1957 case became known as the cornerstone of alien abduction research. Investigated by Dr. Olavo T. Fontes and witnessed by journalist João Martins, the deposition taken in 1958 remains one of the most meticulously recorded testimonies in the field. It was the early morning of October 15, 1957, on a small farm near São Francisco de Sales, Minas Gerais. Villas-Boas was ploughing by moonlight when he noticed a bright star descending rapidly. Within seconds, the light revealed itself as a shining, egg-shaped craft glowing red at the front, surrounded by small blue lights, with something spinning on its top like a rotor. It landed roughly 10 meters away. Panicked, Villas-Boas tried to run but was seized by 4 small humanoid beings, each wearing tight metallic suits and helmets. They dragged him up a narrow ladder into the craft, ignoring his attempts to fight them off. Inside, he was stripped and examined. One of the beings drew blood from his chin with a cup-like device. Then his entire body was covered in a thick, transparent liquid, later speculated to have been some kind of sedative or stimulant. He was left alone in a small, gas-filled room for nearly 20 minutes, overcome by nausea and fear. When the door opened again, a woman entered, human-like but not quite. She was described as pale, with blue slanted eyes, a small pointed chin, and short white blonde hair curled inward at the ends. Without speaking, she initiated a sexual encounter that Villas-Boas said felt completely natural, though he attributed his uncontrollable desire to the liquid rubbed on his skin. Afterward, the woman pointed to her stomach, then at him, and finally to the sky, a gesture he interpreted as meaning she would bear his child somewhere among the stars. The beings then escorted him out of the craft, which lifted silently and vanished into the night. Villas-Boas noted that over 4 hours had passed. His watch read 5:30 a.m. when he returned to his tractor. In the days following, he suffered fatigue, headaches, and mild radiation-like burns. Later in life, he studied law and became an attorney, rarely speaking of the event again. He maintained until his death in 1992 that every detail was true. The Villas-Boas case is significant for several reasons. It predates the famous Betty and Barney Hill abduction by 4 years. It includes one of the first modern descriptions of a medical examination and hybrid breeding narrative, and it presents a consistent, detailed account of missing time. Reports of a similar oval craft with a rotating dome were logged in Brazil around the same period, lending at least circumstantial context to his story. Whether viewed as an extraordinary first-hand report, a psychological episode, or a mythic retelling of contact between worlds, the story of Antonio Villas-Boas endures, a haunting early template for what would become one of the most iconic patterns in UFO lore.
And with this last clip, we have reached the end of our video. Now, for this one, I don't really know. I mean, it's always interesting to hear people's alien abduction stories and everything. I've actually heard a couple of myself from people that I have met throughout my lifetime, and this one's a bit stranger than the ones that I have heard previously myself, and I really don't know what to make of it. I get it could be, a possibility. Vivid dreams, if he was dealing with fatigue and everything afterwards, you could think of it as maybe just he hadn't been sick or something like that and just had really vivid nightmares, and it manifested in this sort of sense. I mean, because let's be honest, there's some things that happen in dreams, even though they say subconsciously your dreams are things that you have seen before and things like that. Like, for example, if you have a dream about and somebody's in it or something, it's maybe somebody you saw passing you on the street and somehow they made a debut into your dreams. I've heard that, but I've had dreams that there's no actual logic behind locations or people I've met in them. It's really strange, what your subconscious could do while you're sleeping and everything. So, we can't put that totally out of the way and say, no, this isn't what this could be, because this is, it has lends some credence to a dream theory for that. As for the radiation burns, I'm sorry. I'm not sure. I've never had radiation burns, but I have had burns from a tractor before. You lean on something you're not paying attention to, especially if he's sitting there riding the tractor in the middle of the night, you end up, especially this being the 50s and everything, you might end up accidentally burning yourself on the hot tractor that's been running for hours, and you don't, realize that you've done it at the time because, you're hot, sweating, everything like that. I'm assuming with it being Brazil, the temperature's it's gonna be tropical there, so therefore it's gonna be humid, hot, even at nighttime, I'm assuming, and he could have not felt it right away, and then all of a sudden the burns kind of showed up a little bit more. So, it's something really, really strange. I mean, let me know in the comments below what y'all think about this, because I'm kind of at a loss. I can't really, determine something like this because I've never had anything like this ever happen to me. I've had interesting events, and like I say, I'll tell these stories as time goes by of some of these events that I've had that brings me more into the paranormal than just a regular person on the street. I had different things happen throughout my life, different stories I have, and I'll eventually start telling them and everything. But this right here is a little kind of out there for me. So like I said, let me know in the comments below what y'all think about this. Is it a just real vivid dream brought on by sickness, or did something really happen to this gentleman in the 50s in Brazil? So, like I said, this is the end of this video, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you then.